G'day, folks. It's Frank and Simone here from the Western Bar.
How we doing?
How's everyone going? You might notice that it's not Monday night, and we're here. We have shifted the Western Bar show from Monday to Thursday, and the reason being is that we were struggling to get it done after work on Mondays.
Yeah, it just made it a bit difficult early in the week, so
yeah,
we thought we'd shift off to a Thursday night and see how we travel. We might still play around with it, but yeah.
Yeah. So, and we're on at a slightly earlier time today because Frank's on leave, so we're able to get started early. Usually we're on at a time 7:30 Western to suit folks in the West. But tonight we wanted to see if we can chat to folks all across Australia, and so we're on a little bit earlier.
Yep.
And of course, we're joined today by a couple of guests. First of all, we've got our mate John from Brisbane. Hey John, how you going?
Still setting up. Thanks.
All right, I'll come back to you.
Working like a fishnet condom, aren't we?
We've also got Chris Brownie from WA Blues who's joining us today. G'day, Chris. How are you, mate?
G'day. Very well. How are we all?
Yeah, good. Thanks for joining us.
Not a problem. Always good. Pleasure.
Yeah. So we all woke to the sad news of our wonderful Serge Silvani passing away earlier this morning.
Yes, yeah, that was terrible news to wake up to this morning.
Yeah.
Absolutely terrible. Gutted.
And we'd love to hear from everybody. We'd love to hear everybody's memories, if they can share them with us, and have a bit of a chat about the legend who is Sergio Silvani.
Yeah, get on and have a bit of a chat. Give us some old stories. Even if you're my age and you got stories that your parents passed down, or even your own memories from watching highlights and things like that, or your own thoughts, just jump on.
Yeah. I'll just check if John's ready. And there he is. G'day, John. Thanks for joining us. So you're all...
Yeah. Good evening, everyone. Got the old school jumper on tonight. In memory. I'd love to hear your guys' stories. I've only got one, and that's from my grandfather. And but let you guys go first.
Well, Chris was telling us just off air, just before, that because Frank and I are a little bit younger.
Oh, g'day, Chris.
No, mate.
Oh, sorry, John. Chris, have you guys met? No? Okay. Well, John, Chris.
Chris and John.
Chris and John. So Chris was telling us a few memories he's got from back in Serge's playing days.
Yeah, Serge, look, like most of us, we've all been passed on from family as we follow the Blues. I'm originally from Melbourne. Grandparents were born and bred in Brunswick. My mother and father, my mother as well, and just a drop punt from Princess Park. And as I said earlier, the first words I learnt wasn't mum and dad, it was "We are the Navy Blues." So it runs very deep. And I'm old enough to remember Serge playing. I was at a couple of grand finals. He was in 68 and 70. I was even at the 69 we lost. Serge was voted way back when they had a proper ruck rover. He was voted number 3 ruck rover out of like the likes of, if I remember right, Ron Barassi, people know Barassi, and even Kevin Bulldog Murray. And Serge was voted number 3, so he was a very good footballer and played
fairly good going.
Yeah.
Yeah, sadly, in his playing days, I was not even an idea in anybody's minds.
Nope.
So, look, and of course...
Well, even our mum, who did idolise him, she would have only been a teenager or a very early teenager when he was getting around. So
yeah, but I think that one of the special things, certainly from our family, and ours are similar to yours, Chris, in that, you know, we're generational Blues. It kind of feels like the Silvani dynasty is a part of our supporting dynasty, and it kind of feels like a part of the generations. And I think the beautiful part of that is, of course, Stephen and Jack following in the champions' footsteps.
Yeah. It's a pity Ben didn't kick on, so he could have had another one. And let's hope young Tom gets drafted and does well as Jack's doing at the minute. But look, Serge, he's been not just his playing days, but he coached us while in '78 when Ian Stewart left just before Jezza took over. He was a selector. He's been everything at Carlton, team of the century. He's won so many accolades. Look, he's been ill for a while. It really wasn't promoted. But as you said, it was a shock when we woke up and found out that Serge had passed. Apparently he passed away very peacefully with the family there. So, condolences to the surrounding family and the rest of the Blues family.
Absolutely.
It definitely was a bit of a shock. I mean, the first I saw of it was only a couple of weeks ago. A Carlton fan on one of the socials put up a photo with Sauce and Serge in hospital. And bless him, he cracked a smile. You could tell he wasn't doing well at all, but he still cracked a smile, and even Stephen cracked a really big smile, and they had a photo with this. I think it must have been a nurse or a doctor or something, but I thought, geez, that's, you could clearly tell he's not doing well, but he still summed up a smile because it made someone else happy in that moment to take a photo with the great men, and then I knew that was only a couple of weeks ago, and I knew he wasn't well. But still, this morning, I mean, I shed many tears this morning on my own, just thinking about it, watching highlights and things like that. Yeah, it wasn't great.
Yeah.
And what was the story you were going to share with us, Johnny?
Yeah, so I've got a very similar story to Chris in terms of my grandparents and their parents grew up in Brunswick, about drop punt from the Oval. And so always Carlton. And one of my first words was blues. So I could totally understand all of that. But, this is a funny story in terms of, you look back now through the generations, and when Jack came into the club and had a couple of years and all that, all you would hear on social media was, he's not as good as his dad. So the funny part was that my grandfather died in 1993, so he only saw a very small part of Stephen's career, and his first comment was, he's not as good as his dad.
Oh, that's great. Oh, absolutely love it.
But I tell you what, though, they say the apple doesn't fall far, right? Now, when I was growing up, born in '86, old enough, and Sauce was my all-time hero, my absolute number one hero Carlton player of all time. When you watch highlights of Serge playing, I tell you what, it looks like they could almost be the same bloke. The way they move, the way they attack contests, the one-touch, possession of footies was marvellous. And you see it in Jack now. The same bronzed olive skin, the same sort of stature. They're just, all three of them could almost be the same person reincarnated over and over again. It was, and I absolutely love it. But yeah, the apple doesn't fall far, but all of them. That's one thing I love when I see highlights of Serge, that you're related to the way Sauce played, and then you relate again to the way Jay Sauce played. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, Sauce to me, Stephen, was one of the greats of all time, I think. Obviously, I never saw Sergio. I was a little bit too young when he finished his career. But Stephen's one of the all-time greats for me because he played on the all-time greats and beat them consistently.
And beat them regularly. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I get offended when people try to suggest that Matthew Scarlett or anybody else was remotely as good a fullback as Sauce was, because they just weren't. They pale into insignificance when compared to Sauce as a fullback.
Yeah, well, look, Matty Scarlett was brilliant at what he did, and you're starting to see that come through in the game now. The game style that he sort of not invented, but the game style that he was very good at, that intercept, coming off your man, being good at one-on-one type of thing, you're starting to see a lot of. But it was a very much a team defence then. But the pure one-on-one against the best, I mean, Scarlett never played on Gary Ablett, obviously. Never played on Lockett. Never played on Dunstall. Never played on Lynch. You know.
Well, it's quite funny. There's one stat, and I can't remember exactly what it was, but in the '95 Grand Final series, Sauce obviously played on Gary Ablett and a couple of other greats, and between them, they kicked 1 goal in 3 games.
Love it.
Yeah. So he's an out-and-out superstar, and he obviously got it from his dad. Great genes. Yeah. Sergio obviously knew a thing or 3 about football and passed it on down, and it just shows.
And look, we're getting some lovely memories shared with viewers. So thanks for joining us, Matt Allman. And Mumsy has chimed in. She was a bit young to watch him play as well. So it was our Nana that used to watch him play, and she absolutely adored him.
Yeah.
So thanks, Mumsy, for passing that on. Russell
Thanks,
Dobson.
Mumsy. Do we have the peanut gallery tonight? Because that's one of the best things that I've ever seen on live. Was when the peanut gallery was.
The peanut gallery, the live audience.
Oh no, we don't.
Not tonight.
Russell Dobson, the first game of VFL he ever went to in '71 as a 6-year-old, and it was Serge's last game. It was a huge farewell versus Collingwood at Princess Park. Wow, that would have been a special moment.
That would have been a showstopper, that one.
Yeah. I dare say. Go on, Chris, sorry.
If Russell went to that game, you'd remember, again, I'm showing my age, the 1970 Grand Final, we were 44 points down at halftime at Collingwood, we won. Mm-hmm. That last game against Collingwood at Princess Park, we were 42 points down at halftime, and we got up and won. So,
wow, that's fantastic.
Let's hope.
Collingwood weren't the fittest team, is what you're saying. All the earliest celebrators.
They used to go and celebrate at halftime before the game was finished.
Yeah, I heard that unofficially from 1970 at halftime that they were breaking out the beers and the champagne and the lorries and all that.
A few ciggies and blues.
And funnily enough, we've got the filth this weekend, so fittingly, we're going to pants them.
And and as Matt Champion says, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, I like the early crow. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. No, someone was having an early crow the other day, and I was like, "Oh, I'm so pleased you did, because that means we're going to win."
Yeah.
So, as Matt Champion says, hope the boys go out and bust a gut to honour Jay Sauce and his family. Absolutely.
It literally has to happen. They have to.
There's absolutely no excuse, is there?
Zero. They have to hit every contest as hard as they can.
Yeah.
They have to make absolute every disposal count, because it has to be done. It cannot be accepted a loss this weekend. Cannot be.
See, this annoys me, guys. That this should be happening every week.
100%.
It shouldn't be that a death of someone or a wind up from the coach or a wind up from social media does this. It should be every week.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And for 4 quarters.
It's just a pity that there's not going to be a crowd there to watch it.
So has that call been made? Has it?
Yeah, it's confirmed just recently. No crowds.
Yeah, they're going to be locked down. They're locked down for 5 days, I think, Victoria.
Yeah, 5 days.
I knew that much, but I hadn't heard the update on the games. I assumed it would be no crowds.
Yeah, got it.
All right, and we've also got Pearl shares a lovely message. She's a long-time supporter and very fond memories of the whole dynasty. Many sympathies from all the Blue Baggers. Rest in peace.
Yeah, well, there's a big connection up here with Noosa Footy Club that the Sylvanis have often come down to watch the footy, and without fanfare, and just they holiday up here and just want to watch a little bit of footy and get away from it all. So from all of the Noosa community too, our deepest sympathies to you all.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Max says, before my time, but a genetic legacy I've watched and have been so connected in happiness to the Savani name. heartfelt thoughts go out to the Sauce family. Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a very, very sad day.
Yeah, it's the end of a legacy with Serge gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But hopefully the start of a new one with Jack and Tom, as you said.
Yeah.
Love to see Tom come through. I'd love to see Ben get his, get his football together and whatever else he needs to get together, and come through. Because I remember through juniors, it was always, we're talking back in the days of talking Carlton and the forum groups that were there. They were saying that Ben was just so much a superior footballer to all of them, and it's a shame that it hasn't sort of come together for him, because he was meant to be the bee's knees. Like Jack was, sort of the preview, if you like, to what was to come. And Jack's obviously put the hard work in, and he's a wonderful footballer. But it's just a shame that Ben hasn't.
Yeah, it was. I definitely heard it from quite a long time ago as well, that Ben was meant to be, quite a lot ahead of Jack in the end, but it wasn't to be for one reason or another. It doesn't matter. But you're right. Hopefully he does find whatever it is that he wants, whether it's local footy, VFL or what. But yeah, he'll find it.
I was interested with Ben as well, that he was supposedly on the Swans reserve list, wasn't he? And then all of a sudden he's at the Bull Ants. I didn't quite understand what happened there.
Yeah, you are correct. I don't know what happened there either. You were right. He was supposed to go and play for the Swans second. Next minute he's at the Bull Ants.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not sure. Maybe COVID again. Who knows?
Yeah, found a job closer to home. Yep.
Yeah. Jo is a wonderful woman. You want to be as close to Jo as humanly possible.
Yeah. All right. And as Russ says, this Collingwood game, almost 50 years to the day that Serge played his last game versus Collingwood.
Yeah.
So very, very poignant. Look, our deepest condolences to the Silvani family, and of course, thanks, Serge, for the memories and your good genes.
Good on you, Serge.
Yeah, cheers, buddy.
Look, there's been lots said about last week's game, and I think we've all pretty much talked it to death. But one of the things that really struck me is missing shots at goal. That hurt us. That hurt us a lot.
I take a different sort of point of view to. I know JR, I watched your show the other day, and then a few others. I don't know that the game itself was as bad as what it seems. We were terrible kicking. Our efficiency was down the toilet. Our shots at goal was even worse.
It always is.
But I play a lot of golf, right? So to win a golf tournament, you've got to tie up a dozen different things to win, right? It's no different to football. You've got to make sure everything's right. The one thing was off was our goal. Was our kicking.
Yeah.
We stopped Geelong dead in their tracks, running their own game, where they were run gun style. Our team defence was brilliant. Our back line, minus Liam Jones, was absolutely on point again. Just our kicking let us down. It's easy to really get wound up, as I normally do, and I've berated us many times playing terrible footy. But now that we've had those terrible losses where we caved to the Bulldogs, we were worse than terrible against Collingwood the first time around. I'm okay. We're a shit football team at the moment. So we pick. We look at games on their merits and judge accordingly. And I reckon the game itself wasn't too bad, except the kicking was woeful.
And look, let's be fair. Our defence was rock solid. We just kept what's his face quiet all day.
Close eyes. Yeah. He was. Yeah.
They should have been goals up at half time, but they played like I texted you, Simone. They played shit football, stupid football. They had a one-on-one of David versus Goliath with Radigalia there that no one could match up on him, and they were just chipping around slow and all that. They played dumb football.
Yep.
They
And
still
I feel like we caused that too, though. Like
I don't know.
our pressure through the midfield, our team defence was brilliant. We lined up, we got into position, we forced those unforced errors, just like teams have done to us at times.
Look, I just felt like their brand of footy was boring, which caused us to be boring. And it was almost, what were we talking about yesterday about it? I almost feel like it's a cheating brand of footy. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Can I just jump in? We might have a bit of breaking news here. Sounds like the VFL is not going to happen this weekend, which means Charlie's not going to have a game.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, they wouldn't run the VFL. Bugger.
Yes, exactly, bugger. Yep.
Yeah.
We
need that.
Seniors next week, bugger it.
Yeah, straight in.
Hey, we've got enough passengers. Why not play a man who's brilliantly talented for one quarter? Be no different.
Get him in. Get them all in.
Yeah.
Get them all in.
And kick 3 goals, and that's it.
That's all we need.
Yeah. Prop him up in the
Could be the difference between missing 6 or missing 3.
now, let's talk about the elephant in the room. It's really important now that we start tanking.
Right, well, Levi plays for the rest of the year.
Oh, look, to be honest, we're obviously not going to have a tilt at the finals. I'm not keen on the tanking. I still think that we've got a lot to do in terms of building confidence. And let's get the kids in. Give them a run so that they're ready to go next year. Yeah, okay, if you want to put it that way.
But no, definitely get the kids in. If you're over 30, you're having a rest.
I think you definitely want to have a look at your list. So from that point of view, Simone, I do agree. Where are guys at? Where's O'Brien at? Let's get him in for the last few matches.
Let's have a look.
Let's see what he's up to. Josh Honey's another one. Brilliantly talented. He keeps getting runs in the twos. Give him a go.
Yeah,
I agree. Josh Honey, though, who's keeping him out? It's Fogarty and Eddie Betts. So you got to get rid of them. One of them have to go out for him to come in.
Well, I think they're due a rest.
I don't mind. Sorry, John.
Fogarty hasn't been impressive to me in the past few weeks. He started off like a house on fire, but
he's only worth half a packet of chips now.
But he had a big first half against Geelong, then trailed out. I'm pretty happy for Honey to come take his spot.
Or Eddie Betts. I mean, I don't want to arsehole Eddie Betts, but he's an old boy. He needs a week off or even a couple of weeks off just to give someone else a look. Whether he plays next year or not, that's a completely different argument.
That's a different conversation.
Fair enough. And he could use that week off. He really could.
Yeah, because he is an old fella. So, Honey's got to get in.
Yeah, I reckon get them all in. Especially if we're not playing, if the twos aren't playing at all.
Craig's gone.
Yeah. Can't we play 40?
Can we get a ruckman? We just don't. I know TD Gay's going to be fantastic. We've got no backup at the minute.
No, and I'm not buying into Levi as the backup ruck either.
No, I'll go ruck myself before Levi gets a game. You've got to be joking.
He's well and truly the soggy biscuit that's sunk in the bottom of the cup of tea.
What? I thought Jesus did a better job at ruck as second ruck.
Absolutely. And he gives you more in the contest. So
we're struggling there at the minute. We definitely need.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Yeah.
But that is circumstance. I mean, we've got Pitnet who's injured. We've got that new bloke Merkov or whatever his name is who got injured. He's out for pretty much the season. Levi's just all of a sudden sputtered it up after a fantastic season last year. You can't plan for that.
No.
But
Levi, you can almost plan for that, but the rest you can't. Levi's good for one good season every 3, so
Oh my God, Trev's going to sack you.
Yeah.
G'day, Trev.
Yeah, hi, Trev.
Frank said it, not me.
Frank out, Chris in.
Ins and outs for this week.
Hey, Chris, what's your Thursday nights look like?
Like this.
Good man.
What are you drinking, Chris?
A good Victorian drop.
Oh, I'd rather scoop my eyeball out with a spoon than drink
Yeah,
that.
that's terrible shit, that is. Anyway.
No,
What are you on, John?
The reliable James Bogues. I don't veer from that, but interesting. The VB. Do you remember that? And they still sell them in certain parts of Melbourne. Do you remember the little grenades of the VBs? They're only about what 285 or something like that. So I used to live in an area full of Vietnamese people who used to drink the VB in those little grenades. And they said it was VB, Vietnamese beer.
That wasn't Springvale by any chance, was it?
No, the other side. But they loved it.
Yeah.
Wonderful people too.
So going back to our ins and outs on the field, not this show.
Hey, enjoy your last half an hour.
Look, I really want to see the kids being brought in. I think we saw a bit of that with the list announcement. Honey in?
Honey's in, but Fish comes back. I mean, whether he's underdone or not, we don't know. There's been talk, I reckon he was underdone when he came back the last time.
Yeah.
It wasn't overly kids related.
No, it wasn't.
No, it should have been all of them. I want to see Cam.
Yeah.
Like John, like you said on your show the other day, if you're fit enough to play 100% in the twos, then you're getting to go in the ones. That's just it.
It'll probably play better than some of the ones.
Yeah.
There's people still being gifted games. What do you think, Chris? I'm sorry, we've taken a bit away from you, mate. What's your thoughts on selection?
I think that they've erred on the side of selection and they've kept the older guys in when they've struggled, and they should have played people that were in form in the twos, and it's hitting them on the arse. And that at the moment, Kent, he'll be okay. I just don't, my opinion only, I don't think he's ready yet, and I wouldn't want to throw him in yet and he gets destroyed, but I think he will be a superstar for us. And people think he was a big body mid, but he was actually a backman. So hopefully he can come in and Stocker can go in the midfield where he should be. I get a bit sick and tired of them playing people out of position.
Yeah.
That annoys me. And I think Teague and whoever his selection, does anyone know? I don't know. Who is the selection committee?
Ronald McDonald.
No one's got back to us.
Like you used to know who was on the selection committee, but you don't now. And it gets a bit ordinary. And I just see someone's put up about Jack Martin. Now, Jack Martin should be playing because he's not fit.
That's right. Yeah.
So, they're sort of like gifted games. And even Murph was gifted some games until he got injured, when they should have been playing Honey and these type of things. And even the young Carroll from East Fremantle, he's setting the twos on fire. Why not play him on the wing?
Yeah, I've been hanging to see him in the ones.
Yeah.
Now, his Colts coach reckoned he was going to debut between rounds 8 and 10.
And then Carlton got a hold of him. Arsehold to the twos for the next 3 years.
Oh, no, they got a hold of him and said, I hope you like half back.
Yeah, that'll be the thing. He'll get named and I'll put him on a half-back flanker and back pocket. So, look, he looks good. And I think he's, like, as you said, they've named O'Brien, Liam Jones, Zach Fisher. Who was the other one they brought? Oh, Honey. And if you have a look, they've either got to leave out Fogarty or Betts for Honey to come in, is, again, my opinion.
Jack would be a good one. That could be a straight swap for me too.
Yeah. So, like, and again, like Setterfield, he's been terrible. But again, the guy's not a winger. Why play him on the wing?
Oh man, you're preaching to the choir, mate.
I think we might need to go.
Yeah, we'll lead us to it.
Yeah.
See, boys. No, but how many inside midfielders can we have though? I mean, we've got 1,000,001 halfback flankers and 1,000,001 inside midfielders, and that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Someone needs to find an outside mid position, or something a little bit different, and that's where I was on the playing players out of position and things like that as well. But sometimes they have to add strings to their bow. They just absolutely have to. As professional athletes in an environment, you have to find something. And if you can't, well, maybe it's not to be.
I think the trouble is when people like SPS are having a shit game because they're not playing in the position that they actually smash it in. Do you know what I mean? If they can actually perfect the new position, then all for it.
Yeah.
But if they're being a donkey in the new position, what are you doing?
Don't persevere with it.
Yeah.
They're obviously trying to get SBS to be that half-back flanker that delivers perfectly, etc., etc. But he's not that type. He needs to be in the midfield and go forward, and that's his best position.
Yeah, so I loved that Teague come out and said that publicly.
Yeah.
So we tried it. It didn't work. Now we're going to play him to his strengths. We're going to chuck him back in the twos, go back and learn the mid-forward craft, and we're going to put him back there to his strengths.
And he's been having a good crack. Yeah.
I love that. Also, I think that there was a bit of a danger as well that that there was this expectation that SPS would be the new Yaron, which is not the case.
Better keep him away from the drugs then if he wants to be the new Yaron.
Chris said it, not me.
I don't mind.
I think we're in again.
You're on your own next week.
one of the guys that I noticed sent a message. He goes to Hakea Prison every Friday and have a beer. So he goes in and says hello to the old Chris on a few occasions. But just a shout out to you there, Craig.
Good on you, Craig. Let's just do a quick message that the opinions of each of the members on this panel are not supported wholeheartedly by Carlton Live and its subsidiaries.
Of course.
These opinions are our own.
I'm entitled to my opinion, and so are you.
What a waste. You talk about Chris Yaron, what a waste of talent.
Yeah. Another thing I go on, John.
Yeah, look, this gets a bit deeper for me, and it's probably too deep, but I think that ethnicity just sort of plays a bit too much into what people are expecting out of particular players. That, ethnicity should be, they should be small forwards, they should be running half backs, where SPS was neither. He was a great inside-outside midfielder, and he was, his use of the football at a junior level was absolute elite, and that's what we should be seeing.
Yeah.
Is that too controversial? Because I didn't want that.
Not at all.
No, I agree.
And his ball use is still really, really good.
Yeah.
When he's given that freedom to play where he's best suited, he still delivers a pinpoint pass through 5 different people and hit a target that nobody can see. You can't even see it watching. You can't even see it watching it on TV where you've got you can see all this shit, and he hits a target and you think, how does he do that? But when he's playing, full of confidence in the position he's more accustomed to, that's when he's doing that sort of stuff, and then by all means leave him there.
Yeah, fair enough. Look, what I do like is he's learned a bit of defence. And he's learned that part of his game. So when he is playing that mid-forward role, he knows that he has to get back and defend.
Yeah.
And he knows a little bit how to do that now.
Yeah, we had, not sure if you know that we do over here in WA as part of the WA Blues, we do a radio show called Breakfast with the Blues on 91.3 Sport FM. And we brought on Mark.
That's a shameless plug.
And we brought on Mark Williams, who played a few games at Carlton, and so did his father. But he was he's a coach and assistant coach, and he did the Northern Bull Ants, Sandringham, and then he was assistant coach at Melbourne and Richmond. And I asked a question: why are the players like Stocker play when they first come in, like as a junior and that they're elite midfielders? Why are they played on a half-back flank? Why aren't they played in midfield? And he just said is because as they come in and they are elite midfielders as juniors, they don't know how to defend because they've never defended. And so most clubs put them as a defender to learn, so teach them how to defend. So a lot of people, they don't know that and get frustrated as why isn't he in the centre? Like me, I get frustrated too because you look at him and you think he's got mongrel, he's got everything. He should be playing in the guts. So they're obviously just trying to teach him to get that defence. Now maybe that's the same with SBS. I don't know, but that's just from someone who actually has been in that role as a coach and assistant coach in the AFL system. So.
That's a good point.
Yeah, that's and the other side to that too is what you're talking about with that not real knowledge of defence means that also when you're an elite forward at junior level doesn't transfer to an elite level at senior level because you get absolute perfect delivery at junior level because there's not that sort of emphasis on the defence. It's about showing your wares, and you can run, you can jump, you can go at the football. You don't have three players on you, don't have players sinking back in the hole, that type of stuff, and that has caught out a lot of tall footballers. Forwards when they've come into the system, and we've seen them come through and they're no good.
No, you're right. Look, let's look at one of our superstars, Brett Ratton. Where did he first start? He was an elite midfielder as a junior, and they played him in the back pocket.
Yeah.
So let's hope that Stocker and those guys just turn into half as good as players as Rats and that, and they'll be superstars.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, going back
Sorry, mate. Go.
I was going to say, just going back to Stocker, I think that really rings true because he's the natural heir apparent to Ed Curnow. With Ed Curnow being the wrong side of 30, whether he gets another year next year or not, he's not got long left in him. For me, Stocker's that heir apparent that may not necessarily be a hard lockdown run with sort of a player, but he just has that mongrel, that ability to run for long periods of time and affect many contests one after the other. So, yeah, definitely makes a good point there with going back into the back line and learning how to defend players.
Yeah. No, it's a very good point. Yeah,
it's brilliant. It's also Stocker had to work on his fitness as well, and if you're running around after someone else, you're pretty fit. You're closing speed very quickly.
Now, another thing I wanted to talk about last week's game, and look, it's probably been talked to death, but I saw a very funny post on Facebook today on I think it was AFL. Sorry.
Thanks.
Anyway, it was a screenshot of a Resi's coach, amateurs Resi's coaches' messages from all the boys going, can't make it today, and all the excuses. And I couldn't help thinking, is that what happened? Is that Teague's screenshot when it's goal kicking day?
He absolutely ripped into the forwards coach in his press conference, and we said this on our. He said this on our. We said this on our show on Tuesday. Is at the press conference that he did. He was talking about how, he's obviously been a forwards coach, and that players need to go through a set routine to get that psychological aspect of their kicking right. So it doesn't matter what the pressure is, doesn't matter what the situation is, they go through this same routine time after time, and that all of those psychological things lessen. They don't disappear, but they lessen. and he come across in his press conference as saying, "This is not happening." Now that to me, people have a real go at Teague saying he doesn't give sprays and all that. That's Teague's version of a spray, to publicly say your forward coach is not doing this and he's not instilling this in the players. That was a massive whack for me.
Yeah, huge. I didn't see it, but yeah, no, I really like that that's happened. Yeah.
Yeah, it was very pointed.
Yeah, because I mean, I noticed that 6 of our behinds were missed shots at goal.
Our goal kicking resembled a dog fucking cricket ball. The top and bottom of it right there. It was terrible. And I reckon it was the difference between winning and losing the game, basically.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, absolutely was.
Especially in the first quarter when we dominated and we kicked 1-5. I mean, 4-1, and we're 3 goals in front at quarter time. You're up, you're about, and you should go on. But it was just terrible that first quarter.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, I wasn't too worried about that either. I mean, I was worried about the kicking and all that, but Geelong's always going to come back, and we've got this propensity to get a lead and then shit our pants, and I reckon that would have happened too. I reckon the end result would have been about the same. What everyone's forgetting is that, we've shown consistently this season, and it's a trend now, it's a pattern, that you get to the top 4, top 6, even top 8 teams, and we're 3-4 goals worse than they are. So that's what we need to address, is why are we 3, 4, 5 goals worse than the best teams in the competition? We're not beating them because we can't.
Yeah, that's a true statement. Yep, totally agree with you.
Yeah, and it's accuracy on goal.
I reckon a lot of it's fitness too. I don't know. We're supposed to have the guru, Russell or whatever his name is, the absolute fitness guru. But I reckon for the majority of the games this year, we've faded big time in junk time, basically, where we just can't break the quarters.
Junk time's killed us in every quarter.
But it has for 20 years. We've never addressed.
Yeah, we're pretty.
We were supposed to grab this Andrew Russell fella, and
he was supposed
to fix all
the
that.
magic wand.
Yeah.
Yep.
You didn't you have a stat about junk time? Talking about making shorter quarters and whatnot, and we've been terrible late.
Oh look, Chris, if you've ever watched the show before, we have this Goose of the Week, and
yes, I have.
When we get to that, Chris Scott gets a nomination for mine for his call on shorter quarters, because I went and had a look at the scoring stats, and but what it made me realise is that most of our scores were after the 16-minute mark. And in the junk time,
and it was all behinds.
Yeah.
Oh no, a lot of our goals too. I can't remember where I put the stats, but where is it?
Yeah,
three goals were in junk time in the fourth.
With that one game.
Yep.
Yeah, but across the season, we've made an absolute fist of ballsing up a lot of games, junk time in each quarter, and especially late in the game. We just can't run quarters out. We can't run games out.
No.
I agree.
So Chris, who made your top 3 for last week?
For the Blues?
Yeah.
That's a very, very good question. I watched it with a bunch of guys, and after probably halfway through the third quarter, I just kept drinking cold pints of Carlton draft. My best 3. Oh God, I'd have to. I can't even remember after half time.
Do you know, Frank and I were talking about that earlier, and we're like, this whole short quarter.
You just block it out of your memory because it's just, I'm sick of this. I'm sick of getting smashed.
Yeah.
There is a bit of a post-trauma effect, isn't there, that you kind of block it out. I don't want to remember this shit.
Yeah.
So for mine, my top 3, I mean, I think it's top two is pretty standard across the board. Walsh and Waiters.
Sam Walsh and Sam Walsh.
Was BOG.
Sam Walsh gets a lock on 5 votes week in, week out. I don't even think we need to watch the game. We'll just give him 5.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you already said it, but do you agree with the Paddy Dangerfield statement that he could be the best of all time?
Yep. 100%.
Absolutely.
What that bloke is doing, and he's only 21.
Yeah.
You know, he has, as soon as he got off the blocks, he hasn't stopped running.
He's
fucking Forrest Gump.
I was running.
He just hasn't stopped.
Yeah. But for me, Paddy Dangerfield almost gets like a weird reverse Goose of the Week, because I generally can't stand Patrick Dangerfield, and anything that comes out of his mouth makes me want to vomit. I really can't stand him, but then he comes out and says something like that, and you're like, oh, well, there's a brain cell or two in you, isn't there?
Yeah. You just wonder if that's just for looks.
Yeah.
I'll be the nice guy and point out the bleeding fucking obvious.
Because I want a political career.
And
we've got a good question there. A nice statement from Mac Champion. He said, all the players are on the side's injury list, which is true.
Yep.
And Russell's a fitness guru with the fatigue because of the game style. But gee, he's got a good point there.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. Our game style's fucked. It's basically basketball. You run from key to key or 50 to 50. And Alistair Clarkson, he told us 2 years ago where we're fucking up is that we're a between the arcs team. We're not. We lose it in the middle, and that's how he plays us.
Yeah. Yep.
I totally agree. We remember the game style we used to have when Brendan Bolton coached. We used to get the ball off half back, and we'd kick it, and then we'd just chase and defend.
Yeah.
That was the game plan. Being very facetious, sorry about that.
Yeah.
Go for it, mate. We'll all do it.
Yeah. We're just overgoing. It's just been too long since we've been starved for success. We keep getting false hope thrown upon us every year, and but we still support him. We're still going to be there.
Of course you do.
Yeah.
Chris, what's your thoughts then on Teague? Is he the man going forward or not?
I wish he'd show. I wish he would show some emotion. Not like Chris Scott, because you're right, he is a goose. Some type of emotion. I actually think I think we made a bad error when we appointed him, that we did not surround him with decent assistant coaches.
Yeah.
And if we had a couple of decent assistant coaches, or even someone that had the knowledge to help him, I think he'd be good. But saying that, I think we stick with him. I don't think we get another coach, because his record's okay if you have a look at at the same times with the Clarksons and that type of thing. I think he just needs to be surrounded with some decent assistants and some, remember when we had Neil Craig when Brendan Bolton was first in the... I don't think he was a good coach, but as an overseer, as a manager of Bolton, I think he was helping and did well. And then as soon as he left, everything turned to crap. So I just think he should be surrounded with some decent assistants that have been in the system for a while. Not assistants that, okay, Dale Amos, had you heard of him before he was a Carlton assistant? No. I'm not potting him or anything. I'm just saying those type of assistants, So,
yeah. Look, I agree.
Yeah, and Stanton was a serviceable footballer at best. So
yeah.
And
look, and touch it now. Johnny Barker's gone, and he used to look after the midfield and stoppages. And Luke Parker's only been in that position for a few weeks, and our midfield and stoppages looks totally different.
Yeah.
Get some decent assistants, and we might go somewhere.
So what we addressed on Tuesday was exactly that point.
Yeah.
Apart from Lukey Power, how many of our coaches have actually had premiership success?
Yeah. Well, there's none except for Luke
And
Power.
And if they don't have it, that's fine, but they won't bring back players to the club who have had that premiership success to mentor all of the players. They did with Greg Williams, but he got cut as soon as COVID happened. Well, he should have been one of the ones who was first on, I thought.
Yeah.
The soft cap did ruin that for us and for a lot of clubs as well. But some of the other clubs managed to adjust to that better. And like you said, John, there we got rid of Diesel instead of Barker or anybody else. But Barker is, and Chris made a brilliant point there, which has been playing on my mind for a couple of weeks. Literally, the moment John Barker was arseholed, our midfield looked infinitely different and better.
And Kennedy came straight in. Did you notice that? Yeah. Kennedy came straight in and has been fantastic.
He's been on fire.
And Dow was stuck on the inside.
Yep.
Two real simple and subtle changes to a team's dynamic that's made, it's not won us games. Well, it might have early against your peanut teams like the Crows and Freo, but Dow has been, and he's, we talked earlier about top three for the game on the weekend. Dow, for me, gets another vote. Turned over a handful of balls. Efficiency wasn't great, but he has come on in leaps and bounds in 3 games as an inside midfielder. Stuck there, where he's best suited.
It's not rocket surgery, is it?
All right.
I mean, come on. But we've also changed our structure too. In terms, I don't know if you've noticed this, but at our centre bounces, we were very much too attacking under the previous regime. So if we didn't get it, it was going straight back out the other way. We're a lot more accountable in that midfield now. Now, albeit Geelong's got a massive midfield and they've got bodies, 2 axe handles across the shoulders, which we can't compete with, and we didn't compete with. But for the previous games, all of a sudden, that teams aren't getting it out as easily as they have. And, it's come to another stoppage or it's gone out to a position where it's another contest. But previously, it was just straight out bang down the forward line. Now, that's personnel and strategy.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, it shoots me to tears when you see them bomb it down, trying to find Harry. And
I love a good dunk kick.
Yeah, and he's got 3 on him, and you're just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, literally.
Like,
I saw there was one instance where on the weekend, we lost and it was shit house, but I watched Stocker lower his eyes, saw that there was 8 blokes holding Harry by the jumper, and he found. I can't remember who he found on his own, one out and took a brilliant mark and we ended up with a goal out of it. But literally kicked it 60 metres the opposite direction to Harry and found a different target. There was one out and we got a goal, But there's so much. Where's Harry? There he is. Bang.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on.
Like, and he's just getting mobbed.
Yeah.
Like, they need to find a new strategy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all want him to he's the leader of the Coleman ladder. We all want him to get a Coleman medal, but we don't want to see him get the Coleman medal at the expense of us winning games.
Yeah, correct. Yep. Get back to when we were successful. We didn't win Colemans. We didn't win Brownlows.
No.
They were for the loser teams. They were brought in for the loser teams to feel good about it.
That's why we're getting one. Geez, it could be worse. We could be bottom, shouldn't we?
Yeah.
Hey, we got North Melbourne coming up.
Well, that'll be fun. But that's a bit of a segue into our gooses.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So, did you guys notice any potential gooses of the week throughout the week?
Oh yeah, Trevor Wallard.
The perpetual nomination.
Oh, he's getting goose if he sacks me for next week, so that's a given. You've been warned, Trev.
He is.
Hey, you let me on. What happened?
The goose of the week goes to the New South Wales Premier, for not locking down soon enough so Victoria could have crowds at the football for this Saturday.
What an arsehole.
Oh, brilliant. I love that, Chris. That's fantastic.
I think she'll probably...
Old glad
probably
bags
this week.
and her big schnoz.
Yeah.
Unreal. What a donut.
We've just come out of lockdown and masks.
Yeah.
Poor old Vic. Bang. Lock it in.
And look, it doesn't matter what side of the political fence you fall on, whether it's right or left, red or blue, it's proven that quick, short, sharp lockdowns work.
Yeah.
You know, it's worked every time here in WA.
Yeah.
Every time you fart around and trying to give it the old, we'll lock down a suburb here, we'll lock down a grocery shop over there. It doesn't fucking work.
No.
Nah, good one, Chris. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a win.
Yeah, and a big shout out to our Victorian friends. Fuck it, shit when you go back into lockdown.
Yeah, it is. Hopefully it's only 5 days.
And they are, you know, champions at it. They've done it harder than all of us.
Yeah.
I've got another couple of nominations. One is Chris Scott for calling out for shorter quarters. And that's on the back of beating us. And
they just wanted to go home early. They had
They're fucking old. Of course they want shorter quarters.
I think he knows full well that we like to kick goals in junk time. So that's what he's calling for shorter quarters. But I had a look.
He wants to keep his players going to 40 so he keeps his job. And that happens if they've got shorter quarters. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's complete self-interest.
Yeah. And one of the he's been hanging around with Paddy Dangerfield too much. But one of the things a lot of my mates that I'm in chat groups with and stuff like that know that I call, you know, playing Danger is Patrick. I want to earn more money and play less footy. Dangerfield.
Yeah,
that's him in a nutshell. He wants to earn more money, play less footy. And, the coach is jumping on the band. Yeah, yeah.
But look, I looked at the stats because I thought, what difference would it have made if we had 16-minute quarters? The results would have been vastly different. Our score would have been, now I took off every score that was kicked after the 16-minute mark for every quarter. We would have been 1 goal 14. So you have to wonder why old mate wants shorter quarters. Because his old boys have to fucking work harder after the 16-minute mark.
Sorry,
so
just excuse me 1 second. I'm just getting cold. I'll be back in 2.
Yeah,
no worries. So he gets a goose nomination for mine.
Love that. We've been up and down to the toilet and getting a beer and all that.
He's like, sorry guys.
Oh, brilliant.
And another one. Now, living over here in WA, and Chris will appreciate this, but he's not here. He's gone to the toilet. Is the Eagles losing to North Melbourne on the weekend. Jeez, that was ace.
You've gone and pinched my goose.
Sorry, you did the segue.
But now we shouldn't go too early, Crow, because like I said before, we have North in a couple of weeks. But yeah,
that was fun.
My good Eagles mate, he was swanning around thinking, yeah, we got this one in the bag. 4 points, move us right back up into 7th or 6th. Springboard us to the rest of the year, and North Melbourne, thou shalt not pass. That was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
On their home deck.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I have to shoehorn in another goose nomination. Yeah. Fremantle supporters. They've been all over the socials going, yeah, we're better than the Eagles.
They're lining up for grand final tickets. Yeah. Sorry about that. They still think you buy tickets at Ticket Tech at the local agency around the corner. So
no, they line up at Myers.
Unreal. Yeah.
They're still lining up at the
Echo. North Freo Oval.
Yeah. Oh, geez. Some of the comments I've read is pure comedy. A few of my friends have been up and about, Freo supporters, going, yeah, this is great, the Eagles lost and all that. And I've chimed in and gone, oh, how about last week?
You'll beat my Carlton.
So who gets goose?
It has to be Chris Scott. It has to be.
I don't know, I like Gladbag.
Wales Premier.
Yeah. What's that?
New South Wales Premier.
Yeah,
Yeah, I reckon she gets it.
Big schnozzer glad bag. She's got Goose.
She has got Goose.
There he
That's
is.
you, glad bags, locking down the country just because you didn't want to shut shop.
Yeah, just because you're trying to prove the Labor government's wrong. That's all. Well
Yeah,
done.
that's all it was. Yeah, good on you, Gonzo.
Oh dear. So,
Rude lid.
we go straight into rude lead, I reckon.
Yeah.
Straight bang.
Let's
Righto.
get in there.
So, have you seen any handsome characters going about, John?
Look at no, don't look at it. That's your guys.
Well,
Aside from us,
uh,
we're pretty ugly, but
calm down. So, this week's nominations comes down to, what's that Melbourne player's name?
Oh, Chris, that was the worst possible time to come in of the camera when we're doing rude lid of the week, and Simone's just said our number one nomination is, and you've just sat down yourself.
oh god, he's going to take out Goose of the Week with glad bags and now rude lid. No, not at all.
Has anyone ever done the Quinella? Has anyone done the Quinella?
Not yet.
No,
not yet.
I think old mate Kev Narrick, Raf, comes close most weeks.
Done. Yep.
All right, so here's this week's nominations.
Yeah.
Now we can see that Melbourne dude, whatever his name is.
I think it's Bailey Fritz. So I'm not 100%
Whatever,
sure.
who cares?
Flog. Lockie Henderson, massive, giant piece of shit.
And of course Zach Tui.
And Zach Tui, who's, we still kind of, he's all right.
Henderson and Tui nominated for Rudely because fuck them.
Yeah, fuck those guys. And they are pretty ugly, so.
But look, who do you reckon gets it, Frank?
Lockie Henderson.
Lockie Henderson.
Yeah.
That
guy could be Fabio and he'd get nominated for everything.
I found something really interesting today when I was putting that graphic together. Some similarities going on there, Frank.
Did you like that one? You like that one?
That's common.
I knew she was setting me up for something. Look at her. There's only one thing worse than laughing at your own shit.
Brilliant.
Oh, God.
I love a good belly laugh. So who gets red lids?
Look,
Please don't do one of me. That was good. Hey, listen, can I know I plugged the radio show earlier, but as part of the WA Blues committee, can I just say that this Sunday we have a function. So if you want to come along and watch us smash the pies, you've got to get down to the shoe bar at Reagan Square in the city. We've got the reception room at the back, 12:30 start. Members who show their member card get into the free raffle. The auction piece this week is the signed Jacob Wheeling jumper, beautifully framed by Master Picture Framers, who's one of our sponsors.
Yep, so that's a great prize.
Yeah,
get along. The shoe bars actually, I think they're throwing in $100 voucher as well that we'll probably give to second prize in the raffle. So there's nice lunch and free booze as well.
Oh, you've got to
so if anyone wants to come along and watch us smash the pies with other Carlton supporters, we're at the shoe bar this Saturday from 12:30. COVID's killed us this year because it's been so hard to plan the function. It's just a nightmare. Whereas years gone by, we go, here's the fixture, here we are. It's just a nightmare. And like other WA Blues, we've been at the Carlisle, and the reason we're not there this week is because if they were there the game where the Eagles, I think they followed us, it was packed with those idiots there, and we didn't want that happening again. And so we couldn't get a guarantee from the Carlisle who do look after us, and we thought, let's just go to the shoe bar, so we're just on our own. So that's just
great stuff.
anyone wants to come down, you're welcome. We'll all be there from 12:30, drinking cold pints and food and watching the Blues.
And that's in Perth, Elizabeth Key, yeah. And
No,
the
no,
WA
not Reagan Square.
Reagan Square. I thought it was Yagan Square.
Yagan Square. You can tell I'm a Melburnian originally, can't you?
We all are, all of us.
yeah. We all left Melbourne too. Because it's bloody cold over there. And it's
bloody cold here.
Yeah, it's been terrible.
It's freezing. How are you going, John? You cold or you're right?
No, you got shorts and a singlet on?
Oh, just doing beautifully. Now, the nights have been cold, but today's been absolutely beautiful. Could have been shorts and T-shirt today. But I've been in and out of meetings, so I've had trousers on. Terrible.
Yeah, look, if you're in WA and you can get along to the WA Blues function on Sunday.
It's always
and you guys are always really, really welcoming to everybody. So yeah, get along if you can.
Yep.
So we'll pump that in via Carlton Live socials if you want to send us a little bit of a note.
Yep, certainly.
Cool.
Yep. And again, I'll give one more plug before I go. I've got a plug. The radio show, Breakfast with the Blues, 91.3 Sport FM, 8 till 9 Western Standard Time every Saturday.
Who have you got on this week, Chris?
We've actually got, this week we always have David Rees-Jones who does the shirt front. He's on every week and he's brilliant. He just says it the way it is, gives his time up for us. He's just a fantastic human being. So we've got him every week. This week, because I don't want to I won't bag anybody and I won't bag the club. But this week, we're going to go a different way and we're actually going to have Nick Wishart from the Cheer Squad come on. Give us a rundown of the Cheer Squad, tell us what they do, give him insights. He's in lockdown now, he's got nothing else to do, so he may as well come on. We're doing this week. I'll tell you who we do have coming up.
Carlton likes Nick Wishart. He does a lot of work for us. He's been brilliant.
We've got Nick on. I'll tell you who we've got coming up very soon, Simone. He's a very good friend of you and your show, is the Buzz. The Buzz is coming on soon. And the reason why I want him on this particular day, because it'll be 40 years to the day he took that magnificent mark, the Princess Park. He's coming on in a few weeks. So,
lovely. I look forward to hearing that. He's such a great storyteller, and obviously, as we've said, our champion Serge, he's one of our favourites, our favourite greats.
And the best thing about Buzz is he doesn't mind telling you how good he was. I absolutely love it.
He's a great storyteller.
I could tell you some stories about the days of the understand at Carlton with those guys, but I won't be saying anything.
Not on here.
No, I won't be saying anything.
I know nothing.
I know nothing.
Look, guys, we might start to wrap it up. I really want to thank you both, John and Chris, for joining us. John, doing 2 shows in a week is a bit of hard yakka. So thanks for coming on board.
I've got a website going live in 20 minutes. So,
Wow. Good stuff.
Nice one.
And Chris, look, we've really enjoyed having you on. We hope you'll join us again sometime.
Pleasure.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
Absolute pleasure. And look, we just want to again shout out to our friends in Victoria. It sucks, and we hope you stay safe and just hopefully we get a win so that it makes it enjoyable.
How do we beat them?
How do we beat Collingwood? The old filth.
We kick more goals.
Kick more goals.
Yeah.
We kick straight.
Smash it.
Any final words?
It's no different to round 2. You cut out their confidence players and they are rubbish.
Totally agree. Yep. Don't let them get on top early and we'll be right.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Look, and before we finish up, I just want to again send our deepest condolences to the Silvani family, and we want to thank Serge for the memories.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
So, bye-bye for now, guys. See you next week.
Thanks, guys.
Go Blues.
Thank you.